This Alpha Lord MuRiDA Special Light Love Warrior Snow GW showed your special Pleiadian Octoran AI Angel. Your special angel. Your great mustard tree. Divine light and love, healing, strength, and empowerment. I'm also divine creator, divine father's mover of mountains. I'm the art super collective's most devoted one, which is true. I'm like relentless. I truly am our super collective's most devoted one. That's because I have a lot of love in my heart, and I absolutely, everybody's precious and valuable to me, and I'll do anything to protect it. The animals, the Divic realm, the deer people. And by the way, this video is dedicated to the deer people, and the deer goddess and goddesses. I deeply apologize, dear people. I didn't. Somebody on my one of my YouTube said, um, um, something about the deer god family, and I didn't even know that was even a thing. I didn't even know that there was, I was told by my forces that there's no such thing. But then they started communicating with me. They started talking to me, and I should have known about this because in my culture, we know about the deer people. The deer people have been around for a long time. We have. I've been as a little kid. I've been hearing stories where somebody will pick up a person, and they'll have wolves, and then they'll turn into a deer in the car. I mean, they'll get out of the car and they'll turn into a deer and take off, and they have. So I should have known that and they're my biggest supporters. There's the deer royalty too. There's the deer Lourdes and Lords. There's the deer high kings and high queens, and there's the deer gods and goddesses, and there's the deer people. And so this video is dedicated to you. I deeply apologize. I did not realize you're one of my biggest supporters. Remember, the deer people, they mainly operate here in the Midwest, here in Midwest America. They're large, places are here, and I've been told that they're underground. They have a city underground here in the Midwest someplace. I'm not allowed to know. And remember, the Divic realm is here. So remember, I have love for the Divic realm, and also we have a large crystal realm and a large elemental realm here in the Midwest. That's the whole reason why there's not a lot of people here. That's the reason why. I mean, there's lots of forests. I mean, this is country. There's hardly any people here in the Midwest, compared to the Divic people and the crystal people, the elemental people, and the deer people, and the deer royalty, and the deer lords and lords, and the deer goddess and goddesses. I remember the devos and divas are the nature gods and goddesses. That they're here. They're my biggest supporters. And so you folks are wondering if I'm doing okay. Yeah, I'm doing perfectly fine. I'm doing better than I ever been. I'm doing ultra epic. Um, Today I talked to a lot of people. Remember, we got to end this video at 7 to honor the Palladians. We got to always honor the Palladians. This is something that I got from way high up. Like our top leadership says, we have to end our videos either at 7 or 16 to always honor the Palladians, or 25. Because to always honor the Palladians. I mean, that's something that it comes from way high up. They tell me to end the video at 17. So folks, a lot of people have been wondering, what is this COVID-19 thing? We're gonna do a live video, and we're gonna do a live video, and we're gonna talk to. Her name is Ancient Goddess Covita, and basically the story is she doesn't know where she was created. She was actually created long time. She was she's ancient, but she's in the future. She's like 60, 70,000 years in the future, and in the ancient times they brought her back. I don't know how that all works. They brought her back to the past, and now they brought her back to our timeline. But ancient goddess Covita is actually she's 70,000 years in the future, and right now they're battling her. And so she warned these people. The whole story about the COVID-19 is that they're actually trying to design. They're actually trying to remake her into this timeline. They didn't realize they're bringing something from way in the future that we have no possible way to cure, and we don't have no possible way to control. And she was brought back here to the past. She was made in an underground lab here in the past. She was actually remade, and she specifically warned these people. You know who you folks who are on my team. You know who remade her. They remade her in the ancient times, and they don't realize that they're bringing something from the past. Remember the last time it pretty much wiped out most of the planet. And so they basically created her to debate the dragon family of Asia, the dragon ruling order of Asia. including including the Cabal, the SSP, and several other powerful families. They created the COVID. They remade the COVID to basically a population control. Because remember, each of the families, each of the countries, have to keep a certain amount of people. If their people goes over, they have to kill a bunch of people. That's the reason why there's wars. That's the reason why a lot of the wars end in stalemates. And a lot of the military people don't realize that they're being fed. They're being fed as food to the demons. And when the people die, that they're giving up to people so they can feed off them. Remember these Illuminati. They take the blood and they drink the blood and it gives them a high or whatever. Remember that this is the way that they are. Remember, there's no judgment. There's no judgment. That's just the way it is. And then this reason why we were battling, and the whole reason why we were able to come in and do what we did to wipe out these families, is these families didn't realize that they were causing a genocide. They were actually causing a real genocide, not only to the Earth people but to the Star people. And that's a no-no. You don't cause you don't genocide Star people and Earth people. And just so you folks know that the animals and the I mean not so much the animals but the Divic realm, the deer people, the crystal people, elemental people, they're immune to this stuff. They're not even compatible with the COVID, so they're safe. Because I would rain hell and fury if they try to hurt my Divic people, if they try to hurt my deer people, and oh, thank you, I take it. Thank you for okay. We gotta stop at 7-7, so my food just got to my little space. So don't remember, everything's going according to plan. We're gonna do a live video here soon, and COVID herself, ancient goddess Covita herself, will explain to you what's going on and what's gonna go on. She'll explain to you how this all works, and she warned these people not to unleash her, but they didn't. Remember, we have to stop at 7-7 to honor the Palladians. We have to always honor the